podcast1.com production. From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California. I'm over here at 317 Gimmick Street. I'm kicked back in my office. I got my feet kicked up on a Coleman cooler, which is full of ammunition. Ammunition that I just brought from South Texas. Last Tuesday, I got on an airplane, United, and flew down to San Antonio, Texas, and jumped in a Suburban and headed down to the Broken Skull Ranch. Now, you guys might have heard, if you listen to the podcast, that I sold my ranch. Well, my wife and I did sell the ranch in Tilden, Texas. I retained the name to the Broken Skull Ranch. There will be another Broken Skull Ranch, the location to be determined on my research and where we decide to take that ranch to. So anyway, I will get more into that on another podcast. I'd like to have my wife on a podcast with me as we talk about almost 10 years of ownership. I want to talk to Ted Fowler 361, who's been out there with me damn near the whole time I owned that ranch, working his ass off, drinking Jack Daniels, drinking beer, having a good time, lots of work and lots of hunting. And god dang, I'll miss seeing Ted as much as I got to see him. But, you know, to be short with an answer right now, but like I said, I want to expand upon it. It just got to be a little too much after almost 10 years of doing it, living in Los Angeles, Marina Del Rey. Whether you're driving down there or flying down there, it's 1,500 miles. I just got back from the Broken Skull Ranch. I went down there. Like I said, I flew down there on an airplane, got a ride down there, and picked up my truck and drove back. And I'll tell you what, that drive back, that 1,500 miles, and I went from my ranch to visit my parents down there for a day and hang out with them, and then left from Edna to drive back to Los Angeles. That 1,500 miles down I-10 West, I made about 850 miles in the first day, ended up in Lordsburg, New Mexico. And then the next morning I got up at 4 a.m. and made it into Los Angeles over here to Marina Del Rey. And I'll tell you what, man, that last trip, that last 1,500 mile drive was really the exclamation point on why we sold that ranch. It just was too far away. After doing it for almost 10 years, we just decided to tap out and try to find a place a little bit closer that we can enjoy on a more frequent basis, and probably a much smaller place. But I wanted to pick up a microphone today and just tell a story about my last trip. Driving down there, all the headaches, hassles, and horse crap that went with getting down there and then coming back, because it really was that come to Jesus moment where I was really not sad that I sold the ranch, glad in some respects because of the work and the distance. But man, I tell you what, I take a lot of pride in what we turned that place into, once we bought it. And I'll tell you what, there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, sacrifice, a lot of dollars put into turning that ranch into what we turned it into, and I'm very proud of it. And the new owners got a hell of a ranch, and I'm looking forward to them reporting to me the deer that they'll see next year, because, man, they stepped into a real good situation. They seem like really, really nice folks. So I'm thankful for them to have come and bought the ranch, and I'm happy that they'll continue what I've built, and hopefully they'll enjoy it as much as I did. And the people that bought the ranch live in Texas. They only live a few hours away, which will make it easier for them to get down there and enjoy it, and easier for them to get down there and do the truckloads and boatloads of work that come with maintaining almost 2,100 acres. Along the way, and when I get to, more details about selling a ranch, today I just felt like picking up a microphone. And today for me, this is Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon. It's 3:45. I'm sitting in my office. Like I said, I got my feet kicked up on this Coleman cooler. And I just wanted to tell you the story about my trip back, because I thought it was a pretty damn good story. But on the way, I wanted to dispel a few rumors that had been going around on some of the wires, some of the Stone Cold Steve Austin Google alerts that I get on my email, and one of them goes back to WrestleMania 33. As you'll come to find out, I figured once me and my wife talked, it would probably take between 1 and 3 years to sell that ranch. When you're looking at selling 2,100 acres in South Texas, it's got to be a very unique, specific, qualified buyer. And so it was going to take some time. It took about 18 months to sell that place, so I was right in the ballpark with my estimate of how long it would take to sell that place. So in putting the place up for sale, man, you never know when all these things are going to start lining up. And from a business standpoint and from a personal standpoint, I had a lot of irons in the fire, and they were all heating up as WrestleMania became right down the road, and then it happened. So you have all this speculation going on the internet that, Stone Cold Steve Austin is done with the WWE. He's no longer a part. His contract expired. He's not satisfied with what's going on. And just all this malarkey, which was total BS. It all kind of started when I went down to the Staples Center to interview KO, Kevin Owens, one of my favorite WWE superstars going right now, in a podcast. And people assumed I was down there talking business with the WWE brass to set up an appearance in Orlando for WrestleMania 33. That was not the case. I was down there to interview KO. Along the way, I stopped and visited with the boys. So anyway, never talked to anybody about being a part of WrestleMania 33. As things go, I finally got an offer on the ranch a while back. These things take a while to close. Turns out we closed on the ranch, but right before we closed on the ranch, I had to go down there with a moving truck. Well, I didn't go down there. My wife, myself, the dogs flew down there one way, and then a moving company came out there, grabbed all the stuff that we were taking with us, loaded it up in a truck, and then they started driving back to Los Angeles. We got on our airplane, flew back to Los Angeles. The truck came 2 days later. This is going down right to the wire of when WrestleMania 33 is about to happen. So we're unloading the truck, putting it in the house that we're living in right now besides the house that we're remodeling. That thing is still going on. And it's coming around, but there's been some major headaches with that as well. And so then, in the contract, I had 30 days from when I closed to get the rest of my stuff off of the ranch. Now, the new owners are super cool. They probably let me keep my stuff there for a long time. But I like to work as the contracts say, so I just flew down there. I'm fixing to tell you the trip. But going back to WrestleMania, WWE reached out to me and invited me down to WrestleMania 33. They know I love going to the Hall of Fame, and I had some of my very close friends going in on this year's induction. But as it goes, I was having to drive down there, fly down there to get all my stuff, drive back after just selling the place, getting all our stuff. So, man, I was too busy. And I told the person that invited me to go down there, I said, hey, man, I sure appreciate the invitation. But I got so many things, and I let them know on the DL, kayfabe, that I just sold my ranch because I wasn't making that public news until all the smoke had cleared, all the ink had dried on the contract, and it was a done deal. And that ranch is a big part of my life and a big part of my passion for the outdoors. And so I wanted to make sure everything was settled. So I was frankly too busy taking care of all my personal business and some professional business that I'm working on as well to make it down to WrestleMania 33. But I just wanted to put to rest all these rumors and BS that say I'm at odds with WWE, this, that, or whatever. Hell, I was down there selling my ranch, moving all my stuff off, and listen, I thought the Broken Skull Ranch was going to be, my final destination. We'll get more into that on another podcast. So I had moved, pretty much almost everything I got down there. All my neon signs, all my porcelain signs, all my collectible stuff that I've been collecting for, 30, 40 years. And so we had to pack up all that stuff and move it back to Cali. And Mr. That, it was a ton of work. So anyway, I will always be a part of the WWE. The WWE will always be a part of my life. Man, I'm in this thing for the rest of my life. That's the relationship that I have with the WWE. So there's never been no heat, no this, no that, no whatever. I'm at a great place with those guys, and I'm thankful for everything they've done for me. I'm sure they're thankful for the things I did for them. And again, I'm a WWE member for life. So that anybody that spreads any of the internet BS or rumors, you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. You're hearing it from Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was down there taking care of personal business. And anyway, I just wanted to clear that up because that was really chapping my ass. And it was really bothering me because people just started assuming all this stuff. And when you're doing something just like a major undertaking of selling a ranch of the kind of magnitude that it was with all my stuff being down there, all my equipment, all my junk, it was a major process to pull out of there. And the closing and the paperwork and the bank stuff. So it was what it was. And so I want to tell you my story, though. I had a good story, man. I had a great time flying down there. Man, I went down on United Air, and hell, that dude had just got drug off that airplane, that doctor out of Louisville. I saw all that going down. I said, man, it's going to be interesting. But anyway, before we get into my story about running out of gas, the incident that happened outside of Lordsburg, New Mexico, where I stayed at a KOA campground in a deluxe cabin, I just want to shoot the breeze with you and tell you my story. But before we get into my story and the body of this podcast, let me show a little love and appreciation to one of the long-time sponsors of the Steve Austin Show who makes it possible for me to do this podcast for you free. So big ups to my buddy, former roommate and now WWE Hall of Famer Diamond Dallas Page and DDP Yoga. DDP's so fired up about his Hall of Fame induction that he keeps extending his sale on the DDPY program. So now's the time to jump on this life-changing program while he can do it for 30% off. That's right. Dallas is giving you 30% off the DDP Yoga Now app and all DDPY related merch. Just go to ddpyoga.com/Austin. The DDP Yoga Now app gives you everything you need to achieve your health and fitness goals. DDP's got tons of workouts, nutrition tips and recipes, a way to track your progress, and even offers motivation for those days when you need it most. The app lets you access live workouts from the DDP Yoga Performance Center. And thanks to the app, you can do DDP Yoga anytime, anywhere. Just open up the app, select, and work out, and get to work. And like I said, you get all that for 30% off by going to ddpyoga.com/Austin. So get on the DDP Yoga program today and change your life. Just go to ddpyoga.com/Austin and take advantage of this huge sale. 30% off the DDP Yoga Now app and all DDP Yoga related merch. Go to ddpyoga.com/Austin. That's ddpyoga.com/Austin. Everybody's got a to-do list. Drop off the dry cleaning, pick up some milk. Here's one for you. Let's save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. And the good thing is you don't have to drop off or pick up anything. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. Extra money in your pocket, it just may be the most rewarding to do. You do today.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
All right, everybody, here we go. I'm going to go into a little storytelling mode here with you and tell you my last trip to the Broken Skull Ranch. My Broken Skull Ranch. I'll end up going back to the ranch, but I retain the name Broken Skull Ranch, so I will go back to what the new owners have named it to visit them, check in on them, and see how they're doing, as they have invited me back and we've become somewhat friends in the short time that I've known them, and they're very, very nice people. So anyway, man, I get the idea, man, I need to go down there. My wife and I discussed it. I had to pick up my Chevy pickup, 2003 year model, 77,000 original miles, and my utility trailer, which is a 6x12 trailer, probably weighs about 1,000, 1,200 pounds. That's how I haul my buggies and my four-wheeler and my motorcycles around. Anyway, I'm going to be ragging on my pickup truck here in a little bit because, man, that damn thing was pissing me off on the drive back. And I got to go ahead and take up for my pickup truck right now. Like I said, I love that pickup. It's 2003 model, and when I got that truck brand new in 2003, and I wasn't really hauling any trailers around. So in and of itself, by itself, it does just fine. and for a while I had a supercharge on it, so I had bolted on 100 horsepower to that thing. But when I turned it into kind of a ranch truck, I took the supercharger off and went back to its stock motor status, other than the set of headers and the exhaust system that I put on there. So the thing runs just fine. But I'll tell you what, when you're trying to drag 1,000-pound, 1,200-pound utility trailer, and this thing was empty, didn't even have a buggy in it. So this thing was empty, driving that thing all the way down the highway. I'm going to be ragging on my truck a little bit, but I got to stand up for it first. When I bought it, I wasn't hauling anything around, and now trying to haul it around. I don't know why Chevy made the decision to come up with the 5.3-liter motor. I don't get it. It don't make sense to me. I remember back in the day, my first pickup truck after my 71 Formula Firebird with a Chevy 396 in it was a 1970 GMC 3/4-ton pickup, 4-speed with the granny gear. That thing had a 350 and it ran like a spotted ass ape. So why? Why would you go down as just your standard motor from the 5.7-liter to the 5.3? So I wish that anybody that's a shade tree mechanic, anybody that works in a shop, the certified General Motors mechanic, or anybody from General Motors would email me at questions@steveaustonshow.com and explain to me why that 5.3-liter motor ever came to existence. I'd love